A fact check now on what became one of the most intense confrontations of last night's debate. I mean, the body language on this. The subject of gas prices and the president's policies on drilling for oil on federal land.
That's the problem. In the last 4 years, you cut permits and licenses on federal land and federal waters in half.
Not true, Governor Romney.
So how much did you cut them by?
Not true.
By how much did you cut them by then?
Governor, we have actually produced more oil.
No. How much did you cut licenses and permits on federal land and federal waters?
Governor Romney, here's what we did. There were a whole bunch of oil companies.
I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
You want me to answer
How
a
much
question?
did you cut them by?
I'm happy to answer the question.
All right, and it is?
Here's what happened. You had a whole bunch of oil companies who had leases on public lands that they weren't using. So what we said was, you can't just sit on this for 10, 20, 30 years, decide when you want to drill, when you want to produce, when it's most profitable for you. These are public lands. So if you want to drill on public lands, you use it or you lose it.
Okay, now
and so what we did was take away those leases, and we are now reletting them so that we can actually make a profit.
And production on government lands is down.
No, it isn't.
Production on government land of oil is down 14%.
Governor,
and production on gas is down 9%.
It's just not true.
It's absolutely true.
So who's right and who's wrong? Joining me now, Stuart Varney, anchor of Varney & Co. on the Fox Business Network, and he has the numbers right from the federal government. So these are not Stu Varney numbers. The feds tell us these numbers. What are they?
Okay. Governor Romney is right on the permitting on federal land.
As he kept saying, you haven't granted as many permits. You've reduced the number of permits. And Barack Obama kept talking about oil production as opposed to number of permits.
Governor Romney is right on both counts. First of all, drilling, leasing, how many permits to go out there and drill on federal land. Last 3 years of President Bush, 9,600 new leases issued. First 3 years of President Obama, 5,600 new leases, down 42%. Governor Romney, right on that issue. Towards the end of the soundbite that you just played there, the issue was oil and gas production on federal land.
That's
Governor
where Barack
Romney
Obama kept wanting to go. He didn't want to talk about permits. He wanted to talk about production.
Exactly. Direct contradiction about a factual matter. Governor Romney, right. Oil and gas production on federal land. This is production, stuff coming out of the ground, down. Governor Romney is right. Under President Obama, it has not gone up, it's gone down. So Romney, right. Obama, wrong. Factually, two cases.
What about President Obama's explanation that the reason, permitting may have gone down is because he says these oil companies were sitting there and they weren't using these federal lands, and it's a use it or lose it policy?
Within the oil industry, there is a feeling that the president doesn't like oil and gas drilling. He doesn't like it. And he took away these leases from oil companies because he really wanted to cut down on drilling. The oil companies point out, you don't know whether you've got oil underneath the ground or not. It takes you a long time to figure out whether it's there or not. Okay. So the president says, we're not waiting for that. We don't like it anyway, so you're taking it away.
I want to ask you about another moment about gas prices here. Mitt Romney went after President Obama on the high cost of gas, and Barack Obama had an interesting explanation for the increase in prices. Listen.
Think about what the governor just said. He said, when I took office, the price of gasoline was $1.80, $1.86. Why is that? Because the economy was on the verge of collapse. Because we were about to go through the worst recession since the Great Depression, as a consequence of some of the same policies the Governor Romney is now promoting.
So he's already getting hammered for that by some saying, so we have to have a bad economy if we want low gas prices again?
That's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Because we still have a struggling economy, but the gas prices are up. Yeah,
well, think of it this way. Unemployment in the 3 months after President Obama was elected and when he took office, in those 3 months, about 7.5%. Unemployment now, about 7.8%. You would expect that if the economy's got worse in that respect of unemployment, then gas prices should have gone down. They haven't. They've doubled. What we're doing here is the president is suggesting that, maybe it's the lousy economy that produced low gas prices. Not so. What we need to produce low prices again is more energy production. And that's not where the president is going. He's not looking for more oil and gas production. He's looking for more help for solar and wind with money taken from oil and gas.
Stu Varney, thank you.
You're welcome.